Today we're talking about Rescue Remedy, a gentle, powerful way to soothe your animals during any kind of stress. Rescue Remedy is a blend of 5 flower essences, each of which addresses a specific fear, anxiety, or general stress. It was created by the English physician Dr. Edward Bach, who introduced flower essences to the world in the 1930s. Flower essences are prepared by a technique called infusion, a process in partnership with nature in which the fullness of the bloom is infused into pure water with the help of sunshine. After that, it can be put into bottles and usually, but not always, preserved with a little bit of alcohol. Flower essences are not drugs. They do not affect the body's biochemistry. They do not interact in any way with pharmaceuticals or any other substances we're taking, which is what makes them safe. They belong to a category called vibrational medicine. As I said, Rescue Remedy is made of 5 different flower essences. Those are cherry plum, which generally treats extreme tension and fear; clematis, for that unfocused, unaware, kind of not even awake feeling; impatience, for nervous, impulsive, high-strung people and animals; rock rose, which helps rebalance and bring back courage in the face of enormous fear, such as fear of death; and Star of Bethlehem, which is one of the most useful of all the flower essences in my experience. Star of Bethlehem is for abuse, injury, trauma, and for loss of any kind. It really, really supports rebalancing grief and can make a real difference in recovery from that. Rescue Remedy is 100% safe for everyone. That's babies, kittens, puppies, adults, absolutely everyone. It's easily carried in your pocket, in your bag, in your car. It used to be only available like in extremely organic health food stores, but now it's pretty much available everywhere. I'm not saying it's in every grocery store, but it's in many grocery stores, it's in many drugstores. And recently a friend found some at Walmart, which I think speaks well of how widely available it is. And of course, you can always find it online. So here we are, ready to support our stressed animals. But what does stress look like? What are some of the symptoms of stress? Many signs of stress are very visible. There's trembling, panting, heavy salivation, pacing, whining, a reluctance to move, an animal that's frozen to the ground, or flight, wanting to run away. Sometimes they hold their breath. Sometimes your animal will hold its breath. When that happens, if you notice it, notice if you're breathing. And if you're not, start again very slowly right next to your animal, because that will help them breathe again. But let me caution you that an animal that's holding its breath or that's in any kind of stress is not thinking about its behavior. That's when accidents can happen. That dog can growl, can snap, can bite. And he's not doing that on purpose. He is not choosing to bite anyone. He's reacting to the chemicals produced by the fear that are in his body. He may be a loving, friendly dog that would never think of biting anyone, but everything changes when the body is full of these chemicals. He has no choice. So give him some slack, give him some Rescue Remedy. An obvious example that comes to mind is taking our pets to the vet. Yeah, you're probably a little stressed too, a little anxious. They're so tuned into us on those levels that they know everything we think. The whole situation just can be very traumatic for them. Rescue Remedy helps that. So Rescue Remedy is really helpful on the way. You can take a little bit before you start, give a little bit to your pet. You can spray it in the air of the car. You can put some on the animal's lips. You can put it on your own hands, wipe it on the animal. If you've got it on your own hands, you're getting the benefits too. I like to use it at the vet, in the exam room when we're in there waiting. And not only are there all the howls and meows and all the sounds you get in the veterinary office, but there's all the feelings that come there. All of these energies are left there. And we may feel and respond to them in a way that we're not really conscious of them, even though they do affect our feelings, but our animals are very conscious of them and they really pick up on these things. So on the way home, it's good to use a little more Rescue Remedy in the same way and just kind of clear the air. Imagine as you spray it around, all those frightening and negative energies are just dissipating and going out the window. You can even let your window down a little bit to let them out if you want. It does kind of just take the edge off. This is not a drug. It's not going to put your animal to sleep, but it soothes and makes them more able to cope with the situation. You might have a dog who is terrified of something. You may not recognize it. You may not know what it's terrified of. We may even think it's silly. And a lot of times I've seen people, maybe even been guilty myself, of teasing the dog. Don't be a fraidy cat. There's nothing that's going to hurt you there. Well, the dog doesn't get that because it doesn't feel that way at all. And if they're really fearful or turned off by the spray a little on your hand and just wipe it on them. Because it's vibrational, as we talked about earlier, that works on an energy level and it won't hurt it to be on your hand as you wipe it on the animal. Rescue Remedy, a foundational tool in our tool bag of ways to help our animals. So, Rescue Remedy to the rescue. It can help with every kind of stress. Ours, the neighbor's kid who's excited about something. I know people that when they transplant their plants, they give them a little spray or put a little bit in the water. Yeah. Rescue Remedy is just a rebalancer and a rejuvenator and a soother, and it's just something I don't ever want to be without.